6 months is a very short time to debut a new musical, and God bless the company that invites critics to a new musical erected in such short time, because you're asking for a whooping. But there's always the exception. Sure, there's always going to be problems, but the pleasant surprise of being entertained at such an early stage of development is worthy of praise. Hello, and welcome to episode 61 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater across Connecticut and New York. Today I am reviewing Ivoryton Playhouse's world premiere of the new musical Star of Freedom, with music and lyrics by Jeff Blaney and book by Lawrence Thelen. Directed by Jacqueline Hubbard, running through May 1st at the Playhouse at 103 Main Street in Ivoryton, Connecticut. Star of Freedom started off as a concept album written by Blaney. I'll leave a link in the description of an interview I had with him last year where he details a bit of it. Set to the style of Irish and American folk music, the first act is split into a parallel narrative between the two leads, Sean, an Irish immigrant played by Danny Adams, and Chloe, an enslaved black woman played by Ayla Stackhouse. Sean's journey starts in Ireland during the Great Irish Famine of the late 1840s and early 1850s. When his family dies and no hope is in sight, Sean immigrates to the United States, where he is segregated as an Irishman, unable to find work, starving in Boston. Chloe, meanwhile, is with her Uncle Lewis, played by Richard E. Waits, who are both waiting for any kind of signal from the Underground Railroad for them to sneak out of the plantation they're enslaved in and escape to freedom. When the Civil War begins, Sean joins the Union Army with the promise of a regular salary and a warm meal, and when the two meet, a romance slowly blossoms, with the second act following their journey together. Let's start with the positives. I love Blaney's score and lyrics. The music mostly feels lived in and as old as the world in which we travel back in time to. The songs don't all feel the same. They each have their own different colors, as they either sing something sorrowful of lost freedoms or having a rousing anthem about beer. It's very diverse in its tones, which is great. The cast, who all play instruments, perform the numbers with character and energy without losing the scene. The actors, particularly Adams and Stackhouse, are wonderful. The two have a beautiful bond once they meet and begin to trust each other. I really like the story concept. The idea of two desperate, disparate, yet so similar people from different worlds, hated by the people they are surrounded by, finding comfort in each other, is inspirational. The problem with Star of Freedom, as it currently stands, is Thelen's book. It is too dependent on narration to explain away exposition. I'd like to see the show develop and expand, giving the scenes time to breathe and develop with interactions between characters instead of a setup through an aside to the audience. I'm not one to say this because I'm usually a less is more kind of guy, but expanding the cast would help with this. When Sean arrives in Boston, have a chorus of Bostonians sing about it in a natural way that develops the scene. When Uncle Lewis talks about Frederick Douglass, have a chorus of enslaved black people with Chloe to sing about their different reactions to it. Use Blaney's music to develop scenes and show the prejudices and racism against the Irish and black people instead of telling us. Show us Sean and Chloe's journey westward in a second act instead of telling us. Some of this can be better shown visually as well. Granted, Ivoryton Playhouse isn't a huge stage, and Jackie Hubbard does the best with what she has to work with. There is a lot of potential with this musical. It will require rewrites and new arrangements of the music in order to accommodate the increase in cast size, but I think it will go a long way to making the story feel more organic and give it more of a natural through line instead of pausing in order to tell everyone what is happening. I have hopes for Star of Freedom. It has the potential for bigger and greater things, and I am grateful that Ivoryton Playhouse has taken the risk to produce this show. I look forward to seeing where else it may appear and how it develops over the future. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave your opinion in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing Star of Freedom, I'll leave a link to Ivoryton's website below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and ding the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be back on Broadway with birthday candles. So thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.